LEGO fans! Continuing a series of Harry Potter set reviews, it's time to focus our attention on the noble game of Wizard's Chess.
That's barbaric!
Today I'm going to be unboxing, speed building, and reviewing set number 76392 Hogwarts Wizard's Chess from LEGO Harry Potter! As well as checking out the large-scale board featured in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, we'll also be taking a look at Ron Weasley's Wizard's Chess set and revealing the real-world treasures on which it is based. The set creates a standard 8x8 chessboard onto which we can place 32 LEGO chess pieces. This is going to get repetitive as we have to build 16 pawns, 4 bishops, 4 knights, 4 rooks, 2 queens, and 2 kings. Chess is quite difficult to learn, but don't worry. If you do forget the rules, you are allowed to check. The 876 piece part count includes 4 magically magnificent minifigures based on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We've got a HP 278 Harry Potter in a torn dark red sweater, a HP 279 Hermione with knitted cardigan but disappointingly no skirt, and a HP 280 Ron Weasley in the check shirt he wears during the best played game of chess that Hogwarts has seen these many years. We also get a HP 277 Gold Severus Snape, which is exactly what I need to finish the set. Each minifigure is exclusive to Hogwarts Wizard's Chess, and I love the fact that with the exception of Miss Granger's missing skirt, the costumes are movie accurate. If you fancy some Wizard's Chess action, this will set you back around $60 US, 80 Canadian dollars, 70 euros, 110 Australian dollars, or 60 of your hard-earned Great British quid. The completed chessboard measures 27 centimeters or 10.6 inches square, and is surrounded by trans-orange flame elements which do not light up. That's just a bit of fancy Photoshop and a little bit misleading. As well as a chessboard, 32 chess pieces, 4 minifigures, and a brick separator, because we all need one more of those, we also get the inevitable disappointment of 3 collectible wizard cards. I'm still missing quite a few of these, so fingers crossed. Frustratingly, the box is sealed with punchy tabs rather than knife-friendly tape. So let's bust this bad boy open. Here's everything that came inside the box. We've got 6 bags of LEGO numbered for stages 1 through 5, a big bag of grey 2x16 plates, another bag of 16 stud long goodness, and a 43-page instruction booklet. I'm going to get started building 76392 Hogwarts Wizard's Chess, and today this is going to be a 90-second speed build. And here is the completed 76392 Hogwarts Wizard's Chess from LEGO Harry Potter. Build time today was about an hour and a half and pretty repetitive, but the end result is a nice display piece and also a functional chess set. I have a friend who lives in Prague that I play chess with. He's my checkmate. We're first introduced to Wizard's Chess just before Christmas in 1991. Harry and Ron are playing in the Great Hall as Hermione is leaving for the Christmas break. Ron's chess set is very distinctive and may look familiar. If you get the opportunity to visit the British Museum in London, you can actually see the chess pieces on which Ron's set is modelled. The Lewis Chessmen were discovered in 1831 on the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. They are thought to have been carved in Iceland by Margaret the Adroit in the 12th century from walrus ivory. Carbon dating suggests the ivory likely dates to between 790 and 990 AD. Ron's chess set is a replica and was loaned to the production team by British Museum curator Irving Finkel. There's a great video retelling the story and I'll link to that on screen now. As you'd expect, the British Museum shop sells resin replicas of the Lewis Chessmen, and being a Potterhead, I had to collect a few. In my collection, I have a beardless king sitting on a throne clutching a sword, and check out that elaborate carving around the back. This odd-looking chap would have been a rook and was referred to as a berserker. According to a 13th century Icelandic writer, these guys wore no armour and were as mad as dogs or wolves. They bit their shields and were as strong as bears or bulls. They killed other men, but neither fire nor iron could kill them. This piece is rather more recognisable as a knight. I love the kind of vacant expression of the eyes, the decorated shield, the feet tucked into the stirrups, and the adorable but slightly downtrodden appearance of the horse. Another recognisable figure is the bishop, which of course is the chess piece that Harry Potter took over from in the giant game of Wizard's Chess. But hang on, this is a video about LEGO Harry Potter, so let's get back on track. The biggest part of the 876 piece set is of course the chessboard. It's a standard 8x8 layout with alternating black and white squares. Each square is made up of two 2x4 tiles, so it's a really nice set if you want to break it down for parts. Around the outside we find a number of flames, either for illumination or just because fire looks so badass. On the box it kind of looks like these are illuminated pieces, which would be cool but sadly isn't true. From the top, this is a pretty good looking and functional chessboard, but I really like the way it looks when you flip it upside down. I really love the way LEGO uses colour where you can't see it, but one feature I really like are the rubber tyres mounted underneath the board. These are kind of tacky and provide some friction. It's just enough to stop the board sliding around when you're trying to play Wizard's Chess. We'll come back to the minifigures shortly, but first let's take a look at the chess pieces, or chessmen as they're traditionally referred to. Unlike Ron's chess set, which is based on the Lewis Chessmen, the life-size pieces are different designs. You can see these, or a recreation of them, at the Warner Brothers Studio Tour near to London, UK. They are very impressive, and if I'm honest, more than a little intimidating. Beyond the white chessmen on the other side of the board, Ron, Harry and Hermione could see the door which would lead to the 5th chamber. In the first book, 7 chambers hidden below Hogwarts were set up to protect the Philosopher's Stone from Lord Voldemort. It was previously hidden in Vault 713 at Gringotts, but this was deemed unsafe. As Hagrid put it, "There's no safer place except perhaps Hogwarts," which is why of course the stone was moved there. The first chamber was protected by Fluffy the Cerberus or three-headed dog provided by Rubeus Hagrid. Fluffy was easily overcome by playing music to calm the beast. Beyond the trapdoor lay a chamber full of murderous plant, Devil's Snare, that was provided by Pomona Sprout. Given that this was easily overcome by a first year, although undeniably an insufferable know-it-all, it seems unlikely Lord Voldemort would have been fazed by this. The third chamber was filled with winged keys enchanted by Phileas Flitwick and required superior flying skills to overcome. After capturing the key with the broken wing, the students were able to pass to Chamber 4, the chessboard chamber. Each set of 16 chessmen, so far as I can tell, seem to be identical. We have 16 pieces made of white LEGO elements and 16 pieces made of black LEGO elements. Ron, for once, turns out to be the smart one. After surveying the room, he declares, "I think we're going to have to be chessmen." Ron instinctively takes the place of a knight, although in the movie he does ride upon the chessmen. LEGO shows this on the box, but it's not entirely obvious how this is done. It seems you simply remove the head from the knight and stand Ron where the head used to be. It's not exactly slick. With the Weasley boy out of the way, we can take a closer look at the chessmen. You'll notice the white one is the same as the black one, so I'm going to focus on the black pieces which are easier to film. Each knight comes complete with a sword, which is one of many we get inside this set. Giving the knight a sort of human appearance, we also have a helmet on top of a monochrome minifigure head. The horse on which he rides requires a little bit more imagination. Beyond a vaguely equine resemblance, I don't think this one's going to win Horse of the Year show. The knight, like the king and the queen, stand on a textured plinth. This looks really decorative, but I'm not so sure about the grey stud. After Ron takes the position of knight on g5, Harry swaps places with the bishop on a3. The bishop, in my opinion, is a much better looking chess piece. Again, the bishop's head is crowned with a helmet, but then we also have the bishop's crook. The crook is a long staff used by the bishop for beating choir boys. I love the Indiana Jones style whip which LEGO used to create the curly end of the crook. Bishops wear a long robe called a cassock, and LEGO has done a nice job of recreating that on the chess piece. The plinth is more humble but suits the chess piece well. Finally, Hermione takes the place of the rook on f8. The LEGO version shares features which we've seen on the bishop and also the knight. Again, we have a helmet picking out the head, and another one of those swords to add to your parts collection. Because there are so many of these characters with swords, the knights also have a shield. Finally, the knight sits on a simple plinth. The proportions of the three pieces are nicely scaled. The other key pieces in the noble game of chess are of course the king and queen. They both come on suitably fancy textured plinths. The queen is the only piece to come without a hat, but I guess this is meant to be a tiara or a crown. LEGO does make a rather nice crown piece which was used in an earlier LEGO Harry Potter set. This is somewhat less fancy. Although not armed with a sword, she is carrying some kind of ceremonial staff. The king, in contrast, is carrying a very impressive looking sword. I imagine this would actually be quite cumbersome to wield. The king looks especially impressive thanks to some spiky armour. And check out that helmet, what a fantastic element to get in a LEGO set. While the pieces on the back row may be the most powerful, the most numerous piece on the board is the humble pawn. No, not that kind of pawn, how did that get in here? We get 16 of these foot soldiers in the set, half in white and half in black. While these look very cool, they were very tedious to build. Each pawn is equipped with not one, but two swords. I think in total we have about 36 of these in the set. They put those swords to good use when preventing the trio from passing through the chess chamber. Notice the pawns are wearing an oriental style uniform, including a round helmet. LEGO has been really smart in repurposing a miner's helmet worn backwards. It's really cool that the pawn is sitting in the same crouched position we see in the movie. When you line them up in a row, they look especially impressive. This epic game of wizard's chess culminates when Ron allows himself to be taken by the White Queen. This act of extreme bravery or stupidity puts Harry in a position to checkmate the opposing king and win the game. Next time you see the movie, pay close attention to the scene where Ron's horse gets attacked by the White Queen. I don't know who this kid is, but he sure don't look like one. Maybe Rupert doesn't do his own stunts. Ron is injured when taken by the White Queen and cannot proceed. The movie sees Hermione stay with Ron as Harry proceeds, but this overlooks 2 of the 7 chambers covered in the book. In Chamber 5 was a mountain troll provided by Quirrell. Chamber 6 contained a potions riddle which was set by Severus Snape and overcome by Miss Granger. This left Harry free to proceed to the 7th chamber where he found Voldemort. The beholder had to visualise themselves holding but not using the Philosopher's Stone in the Mirror of Erised. This stopped Voldemort in his tracks and ultimately resulted in Harry destroying Quirrell. This is all down to the sacrificial protection imparted upon Harry when his mother Lily took one for Team Potter on that fateful night in Godric's Hollow. Getting back to the noble game of wizard's chess, it's really not that interesting, so let's cut to the chase and take a look at the minifigures. We've got a HP 277 Severus Snape in 20th Anniversary Pearl Gold, just what I need to complete my Harry Potter Icons set. There's also a HP 278 Harry Potter with dark red torn sweater, HP 279 Hermione Granger with dark green cardigan, and HP 280 Ron Weasley with hand-me-down plaid shirt. First up we have the 20th Anniversary Pearl Gold edition of Professor Severus Snape, Potions Master and Head of Slytherin House. Like all the gold 20th Anniversary minifigures, Snape stands on one of these gold 3x4 base plates. The legs, made out of pearl gold plastic, are the full-size adult posable ones. In contrast to the plain legs, the torso printing is pretty jazzy. I love the metallic gold and rose gold over printing. LEGO even added metallic gold stars to make it look like Snape is sparkling. More printing around the back spells out the grand occasion, 20 years of LEGO Harry Potter. Snape comes with one accessory in the form of this golden wand. And as a bonus, you actually get 2 of these attached to a piece of sprue. I did take a look at some other Snape minifigures to see if I could figure out which one this is based on. The closest I could find was the HP 266 version, which came with the 76383 Potions class set. It's a good likeness of the very severe Professor Severus Snape. The hair is from the same mould used for some other Snape minifigures, but obviously not in black. Aside from being decorative and somewhat collectible, these gold minifigures don't really serve any useful purpose, but it is sure nice to be able to finally add Snape to my collection. Next we have the chosen one, young Mr. Barry Trotter. Sorry, Harry Potter. As this set features Harry in his first year, we have the short non-posable child's legs. Somewhat more exciting but still exceptionally ordinary is Harry's torn red sweater. We know Harry's jumper is relatively unscathed as he battles the murderous Devil's Snare, but on arrival in the chest chamber, it is badly ripped. The rips were presumably caused when he was attacked in the Chamber of the Winged Keys. Even around the back, the torso printing is nicely done, showing the herringbone pattern of the jumper. Harry comes complete with his wand, which is 11 inches long, made of holly, and possessing a phoenix feather core. The Philosopher's Stone is creative license on my part and is not included in the set. The untidy hairstyle, complete with gap for the lightning-shaped scar, should by now be very familiar. We've seen this on many Potter minifigures. The facial expression should also be familiar, having appeared in 18 sets. This shows a relatively happy-looking Harry, with an alternate expression that shows Harry looking very unsettled. Despite reusing many parts, this minifigure is currently exclusive to the set. It also bears a very close resemblance to the character in the movie, which is great. We don't often get new Harry Potter minifigures, so the updated torso is a very welcome addition. Next we have Hermione Granger, one of the brightest young witches of her age. The most disappointing thing about this minifigure are the legs. In the movie, Hermione wears a grey skirt with cream tights. The short stature of the minifigure makes her skirt quite impractical. But details, LEGO, details! Thankfully the torso printing is quite detailed, although it would have been nice to see printed arms. There's a nice bit of detail on the front to show that this is definitely a cardigan and not a sweater. Around the back we get a closer look at the printed detail, which to me looks like a Fair Isle pattern. Hermione's wand is lighter in colour than the others, about 10 3/4 inches long, made of vine wood with a dragon heartstring core. The facial expression is widely used and appears in about 13 sets. It shows a very confident looking young witch, and an alternate expression which shows a great level of insecurity. Comparing the likeness of the minifigure to the character in the movie, Hermione is probably the most disappointing of the 3. Notwithstanding, this is a really cool Hermione minifigure and an integral part of the trio. Finally, we have the youngest member of the Weasley family, Ronald Bilious Weasley. He's the one who's too important to do his own stunts. Like the other 2, Ron stands on non-movable child's legs. I'm just not sure if black is the right colour here. When I take a look at the movie, it almost looks like Ron is wearing blue jeans. The torso printing, however, is pretty much spot on. It shows Ron wearing a plaid shirt which looks a little bit too big over a blue t-shirt. Again, it would have been really nice to get some printed arms. We find more of the printed design around the back, complete with a few creases. Ron's wand, like many of his clothes, is also a hand-me-down. It was purchased in 1984 for Charlie Weasley, and later broken in 1992 by the Whomping Willow. The hair has been used many times before and is the perfect choice for Ron, or whoever this kid is. The head, complete with young Ron Weasley facial print, has been used in about 12 sets. The print is a good likeness for the character, but I really like the alternate, which shows a terrified Won-Won. With the possible exception of the legs, LEGO has done a really nice job of recreating the character in the movie. When it came to the shirt print, apart from the arms, they absolutely nailed it. LEGO did a nice job with this minifigure, and overall they did a nice job with the trio. As the prophecy on the outside of the box predicted, 3 wizard cards were duly included. This time I got a duplicate Minerva McGonagall, duplicate Bertie Bott of Every Flavoured Beans fame, and yup, a duplicate Seraphina Pickery. And so, after that terrible disappointment, that was set number 76392, Hogwarts Wizards Chess from LEGO Harry Potter! How I've managed to prattle on for 20 minutes about a chess set is beyond me. Unless you like chess or you really love Harry Potter, this is probably a set you could miss. But oh no! LEGO has to go and include 4 exclusive minifigures, including the gold Severus Snape needed to complete the set. The chessboard is nicely put together and strangely satisfying to build, but without the flames it would not be recognisable as a Harry Potter build. Although hideously repetitive to put together, the chess pieces do a good job of recreating the pieces from the movie. The pawns happen to be my personal favourite, and are a great source of swords and miners' hats. As is often the case, the minifigures are the stars of the show. Snape is suitably sneering, and finally I get to complete my 20th anniversary set. The trio of Harry, Ron and Hermione are wonderful. I love the attention to detail in recreating the characters from the movie, although I'm not so sure about Ron. He looks a bit off colour. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I hated editing it. It's always much more fun filming than stitching everything together, so please do drop me a thumbs up and say hi in the comments, as it really makes my day. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram, where I occasionally pretend to be a real YouTuber and actually post stuff. You'll find me at Jeremy Herbert Official. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I'll be back soon with more Harry Potter goodness, so take care, have a magical day, and I'll catch you on the next one.